Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of a 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 5, Episodes 13 and 14. There's No Fear in Love, and Disappearing Act. Oh my god, I missed you guys last week. I hope you checked out the panel that I was on discussing the brand new cast of the regular season of 90 Day Fiancé, which is gonna appear April 17th. So you guys set your DVRs. It seems though as though they're not gonna give me a break in between, which really sucks because we have another episode next week of this before the 90 days. And then what? We're probably gonna have 2 weeks of tell-alls. I mean, fingers crossed they only give me 1 week of tell-all.
Why do we need a 2-part 4-hour tell-all? We don't need it.
Now, on to the housekeeping. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Wah, and I do recaps of relationship reality TV shows such as Love is Blind, 90 Day Fiancé, Love Off the Grid, Love After Lockup. It's been a long time since I've done a Love After Locked Up, my bad. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share on any social media platform that you deem fit, and let's jump right into, let's go with Mike and Ximena. Let's just give the people what they want. Okay, so episode 13 with Mike and Ximena. Mike has just gotten off the phone with Nelsie, and she has just finished telling him that Ximena thinks that he is cochino. Nelsie calls Mike back, and she's like, Mike, why are you still there? No, Mike, I am telling you specifically, this girl does not like you. She doesn't love you. She wants none of you. And Mike is just like, but I want to have sex. So Ximena's like, who are you talking to? Oh, you're talking to your chismosa friend? You're talking to your liar friend? You're talking to your friend who's just gossiping about us? I'm telling you that you can stay. I'm telling you that I don't want you to leave at this particular moment. So let's just ride that wave because that's how I'm feeling right now. Next day they wake up and Mike tells us that him and Ximena left the big bed and went and had sex in the toy car bed. And it was great. And Mike wants to know, you know, what type of lover Ximena thinks he is, because he thinks she's a tiger, la tigre. And she says, you're an owl because all you do is stare at me. And he's like, ha 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 ha. And I said, ha 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 ha. That is not what you want to be compared to, Mike. Okay, you don't want to be compared to a night bird with big eyes who eats rodents. Owls are amazing. I love Hedwig. But that is not sexually what I would like to be referred to as. And the evening, they have a lovely poolside meal where Ximena tells Mike that, in fact, no more sex until marriage. And he gets upset because he's like, I don't understand I don't understand what? Why all of a sudden no sex until marriage? And she's just like, that is how I feel. So yesterday I felt like having you in my bed. Today I feel like not having you in my bed. That's where we're at. Breaking news, everyone. Breaking news. So we just found out that Mike and Ximena met each other because she was a cam girl. And so that is why he told her to stop working and that he would pay for everything, because he no longer wanted her to be doing the thing that makes her money and allows her to have her lifestyle and be free and fancy. It all makes sense why she wants tetas before a wedding. Prior to them actually being in a relationship and then post their relationship. Either way it goes, Mike has been paying for Ximena's attentions. And I guess for a moment there, he thought that this was real. And maybe for a moment, she thought she could deal with it. But then she's just like, listen, I'll go back to show my titties. Okay, I don't need this. You know, I just need time to set up my account. So what it felt like is as of episode 14, it looks like Ximena done re-upped, revamped, and reactivated her account. And now she don't need Mike no more. So he can go. So we start off the next episode with Ximena in the kitchen drinking coffee with her mother and sister, where her mother's like, what are you doing, Ximena? Like, why are you being cold to this man? Stop treating him like that. Like, you are being irrational, okay? This is a great opportunity for you and the kids. This man has been taking care of y'all for a year. What's your problem? And she's like, oh, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't like him. He's nasty. The sister is like, she don't like him. She don't like him. And the mother's just like, okay, well, you know, I did my best. Can't make grown people do what they won't do. Then Mike has a conversation with Ximena's mother where she brings him some apples to munch on. And he tells her that Ximena is acting different now than she once did and that he's concerned about it. And the mother is just like, Mike, you're a good guy. You just have to be patient with her. That whole conversation with the mother is cringe. So the next scene we have with Mike and Ximena is them going to play pool to spend some time alone with each other. And Ximena doesn't look like she wants to be there. And Mike says, your mother told me that this is your first serious relationship, which is probably why, you're feeling the way you feel right now. And Ximena's like, that is not true. This has not been my first serious relationship. I've had serious relationships, but then I just get bored. And so Mike is like, oh. So Mike tried to come from it from a position of like understanding that she doesn't get what relationships are. And I'm like, Mike, you don't understand what relationships are either, because this would be your first serious relationship as well. No, I don't feel bad for Mike. Mike is a sex tourist. Mike is somebody who paid for services, which is absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. I'm not shaming him for that. But the idea that he stopped her from working because he didn't want her to continue to make money in the way that she was making money, he must feel it somehow either degrading or to a certain extent, like not something that he would want his girl to do. With that becomes him feeling like he has power over her. Now, Ximena is not a good person, right? As soon as she realized that she wasn't into him, she needed to stop taking his money and get back on the cam. But like she didn't. So she continued to use him and is trying to now get stuff out of him before this ends. But also at the same time, Mike is not a good guy. Mike should have allowed her to continue her work, because the truth is, if Ximena was just a nail tech, or if she were working as an administrative assistant, he wouldn't have asked her to quit. And that's the part that bothers me, is that he's asking her to quit because outside of him paying for her, he doesn't approve of what she does to make money. As far as you guys wanting me to speak on his racist comments, I want to say first, I didn't see them because I don't know if you saw my live with Chris. I don't want to talk about racism. I don't want to know where the MAGA hats are stored. It's not surprising to me at all. I tend to think of Mike as being like a sad, lonely incel. So it's kind of in line that he would also be sexist and racist. And I don't need to comment on all of those things. I will do it if I want to. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So they go to play pool, and he's starting to realize that Ximena is not with him. He's trying to follow her to teach her, and she's like, stop following me. Like, I get it. Okay, I get it. You just bend over, you hit the little white ball into the other balls, and it's fine. I don't need you to teach me anymore. Like, I mean, this person does not want any kind of intimacy with this man. So he calls her out on it, and he says, I don't understand what's going on. You're really cold to me. And she's like, I'm not feeling it. And he's like, well, I'm feeling like you're saying this because I stopped giving you money. And she's like, then if you think that, then you don't really know me, because I'm not that kind of person. And you're sitting up here trying to embarrass me, calling out my character? No. Yeah, you can go. It's fine. I'll make my own money. Then he takes it up to a stupid petty notch. And he's like, I want everything that I paid for to go with me when I leave to New York. And I said, Mike, I'm sorry. Where are you taking that couch? That pink couch, you're taking it with you on the airplane? Delta's gonna take that as your carry-on? She's like, listen, you can take whatever, because she knows it's an empty threat. You can just take whatever, do what you gotta do. And he gets upset and he walks off. She starts to cry. He like runs away. This is the scene we've been seeing since the very beginning of him running into like some blind Colombian alley. And we're just like, God bless, we hope the best for you, Mike. The next couple that we're gonna talk about is Gino and Jasmine. So in episode 13, things are heated, okay? We start off with Mama just trying to get a little workout in the gym, okay? And then here is Gino wanting to spend time with her and figure out what's wrong now. And he's like, so what are you doing? Are you doing leg curls? What's that? Gino, I'm working out. Leave me alone, Gino. I just want to know if you feel like you're upset, Jasmine. And Jasmine's like, I got a message today saying that my tits are going to be all over the internet. So now this person, this sugar baby, is threatening my life and my livelihood. And I'm really scared. I don't think anything is going to happen. Gino, are you listening to me? I could lose my job, Gino.
Well, I mean, I'll pay for you.
You're gonna give me $3,000 a month?
Well, I mean, I don't think you're gonna lose your job. Is there something else that you could do? Is there something else that you can make money at? Could you make money at personal training because you're really good and you're fit? Can you make money at working at a gym?
And she's like, Gino, I love what I do. I'm a teacher. It's who I am. Like, what do you mean you don't think that anything's gonna come of this? This man, she tells him, I am going to be embarrassed and I might lose my job. He says, it's okay, I'll pay for it. Then she says, it's gonna be $3,000 a month. Can you afford to give me $3,000 a month? And then he says, oh, okay, well, can you just become a personal trainer? Your partial nudes, your half nudes. Like he wants her and everyone to understand that it was just pictures of her titas. It wasn't her fully nude. So he didn't really send a nude. And then secondly, that's not gonna ruin her life. He just refuses to take full responsibility for his actions and acknowledging that his actions have dire consequences besides hurt feelings. So she gets upset and she walks away and she tells him he has a problem, which he does. And I'm fully with her on this. And then the next scene we have is her obviously been crying. Her eyelashes are off. Her liner is runny. And he's like,
Jasmine, what's wrong? You still upset?
And she's like, Gino, I used to be a very happy person with my hair done, my nails did, my eyelashes did, everything did. And now look at me. I look like a wet, bedraggled cat that just got pulled out of the Caribbean. She didn't say that, I said that, but that's what she looks like. And he's like,
I think you're beautiful. You want to get your lashes done?
I want you to express how heartily sorry you are for what you did. I want you to prove to me that you are loyal to me and you love me. So she goes through his phone and his emails and finds some email from 6 years ago that references Legoland. And I said, well, maybe Gino and Mike were hanging out. I don't know what she thinks it is, but she's upset that he took his ex 6 years ago to Legoland. He gets really mad. You need to just forgive me and forget and move on. You are trying to make me feel bad about what I did, and I already said I'm sorry. You think I remember what I did 6 years ago? So he gets up and he walks off.
And then he's just like, I'm tired of this. I want to go home. I want to be here right now.
And I'm just like, Gino, you have to stand in this, grown-ass man. You have to stand in this. Stand in it with her. Is she crazy for talking about Legoland? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like he's supposed to remember he went to Legoland. I mean, I would remember that I went to Legoland, but I wouldn't think of it as a pleasure trip because all them kids running around, not for me. Next episode with them is her being like, I'm really scared. I don't know where Gino is. I haven't seen him. I'm going to go find him. So she goes and finds him and she sits next to him. She says, I really, really love you and I need you and I know I'm mad at you and I'm sorry. And he's like,
I just apologize and you won't forgive me and you keep punishing me for it.
So she forgives him because she loves him, so she says. So it's the next day and it's their last day on this resort and they have fun times in the pool. And she says that she loves him even though he's weird and sometimes creepy. But she still loves him. I would never want to refer to my lover as creepy. They're out walking and it's a beautiful tropical humid rain. And he proposes to her. She turns around and he's on his knees with a box facing the wrong direction. He's just like,
Jasmine, will you marry me?
Gino,
yes, I will marry you.
So she takes this whack-ass ring and she puts it on her hand and she's like,
oh, I love you. I love you.
I mean, could you imagine like being presented a ring and the person doesn't even have the ring so that you can see it?
You make me feel so loved. I've never felt so loved before the way you love me.
Are you crying out for help, Gino? Blink twice. Because the way she loves you is dangerous. Also in his confessionals, he's like,
I'm so glad that she forgave me.
And I'm like, wow, he really loves her too.
I know we're a toxic couple, but I love him.
He asks her if she likes the ring. And she's like,
it's, so I have a small finger. And for this band to be as heavy as it is it's, you know, but it's very you, Gino. I also can't tell if this is a diamond. It's very Gino. It's a Gino ring. And he's like, I don't really know about diamonds. I just picked one that was the best out of all the ones that they had there.
Gino, I do recall the salesperson saying that it was a cubic zirconia or something. I recall it being stated that that was not a diamond. I also recall the price of that ring, and that price leads me to believe that it is not a diamond. I can't wait to see when she finds out that it's not a diamond, that he only paid $270 for it, but he really wanted to pay $250.
Next couple that we are going to talk about is Ella and Johnny.
So in this episode, Ella is just a trash bag individual. She calls Johnny and tells him that she slept with a very, very, very good friend of hers because he came over to cuddle. And she really needs physical affection, and because Johnny isn't there, she has to get it from somewhere. And I said to myself, Ella is over here scamming us, got us thinking that this woman cannot find love because of her size. We already know you horny, girl. We already know that you have a high sex drive from the amount of vibrators you told us you had in the very beginning. You do have men around you who are there to satiate you because you were able to call one over. She says because of her size or whatever, she finds that she requires physicalness from men in order to feel validated. And because Johnny isn't going to meet her in Dubai, she had to scratch that itch. Even before she knew he wasn't for sure coming, she needed to scratch the itch. So basically this girl would have done that regardless. You want to be in the States that bad, Johnny? That bad? That you're willing to have this woman basically cuckold you? If you were going to be cuckolded, at least you could have saw it happening. Unless you're not into that, which, okay. This woman is crazy. Crying on camera and basically blaming him for her high libido. And he says, don't worry, what's your ring size? I'm going to buy you a ring. I'll be there in February for sure. It's okay that you slept with him. It's fine. I will be there with a diamond ring. But Johnny's going to come with a diamond ring. We're never going to see Johnny. Next couple that we are going to talk about is Kimbali and Usman. So this episode is the episode where we finally see Kim throw a drink on Usman. Turns out it was water, so it isn't as gratifying. But Usman has the absolute nerve, the absolute gall, okay? Once he realized how much Kimbali was into this relationship, he needed to have revamped the way he spoke to her. Because him telling her, like, oh, ha, 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 that's funny, that's how you feel, is so rude. And so for her to throw water on him, I understand it. No, she doesn't deserve to be treated like that. Then he follows her and she tells him, I need there to be some kind of commitment from you. I need there to be a grand gesture so that you can show me that you love me because I don't feel it. When I got here, I didn't know that we weren't going to stay together. I didn't know that we weren't going to have sex. I didn't understand that you were coming from this relationship from a different direction. Now, it's still pitiful, and I do think it's cringe. But from her perspective, she's got a point. She's like, I need a grand gesture or I'm leaving. I'm booking a flight today. And this fool has the audacity to gather the spit in his mouth to say to her, safe flight. And then he walks away. Jaw drop. Safe flight? Oh no. She's upset and she knows that it's done at this point. And the next segment we have is Usman is talking to his two friends, Slam T and Badmus. And both of them are like, we told you that she was no good. We told you that this was the same situation. I told you in Nigeria, don't complain to us. And he's like, no, but the loyalty of this one, the support, the love that she has given me. And I'm just like, he's still talking about, he really is about this harem, okay? He really is about first wife being a very specific type of woman. So he texts her and he's like, meet me at the bar now. And she gets all fluttery because she's still in love with him. So she goes and she puts on some slides that are oh so sparkly. And I'm not mad at them, okay? It matches the shirt. I wish the jeans weren't ripped, but baby steps. There's a beach situation going on with a table and a chair. And she's like, this is what I was talking about. And then he comes out and he sings this song to her using his phone as a mic. And then also at some point, I think he's using his phone to remember the words to the song. And then the music cuts off. And so maybe he wasn't trying to remember the words. And he tells her that he's really sorry and that he does think about her and he does love her. And he hopes that she is able to see in this display that he loves her. And she's like, I love you too. And she's like, I'm so glad that we're back together and that you're going to sleep in my bed again. Because I guess she wants it African style. Just one more time. Next couple that we are going to talk about is Mahogany and Ben. After their, sunset desert dune buggy trip, they get back to the hotel and he's upset that she has questioned his past. And so he writes her like this 10 text feelings blah blah blah, where he, I guess, tries to explain his past relationships, and I'm sure was filled with a lot of God rhetoric. And when I say God rhetoric, I mean like this man uses his faith as a weapon. And for those of you who called me out and provided me the name of the garden in which Jesus went to think, thank you. I had no idea, and I feel like there should be more gospel songs about it. He has not let go of that cult fundamentalist mentality. I mean, this man truly believes that God has put Mahogany in his heart, and he's not going to stop going after her until God removes Mahogany from his heart. And I keep telling him, Ben, it's not God that put Mahogany there. It's you who did it. You are the one who's created this reality with Mahogany. Not God. She doesn't respond to him at all, which is bananas. The one thing I hate in this world is a text unanswered, and 10 texts saying how I feel, no matter how crazy. She could have responded, Ben, let's talk about this tomorrow. So she goes to breakfast because she's supposed to meet him. They only stay what seems to be 2 doors away from each other, and neither of them can come out of their hotel room and knock on the other's door to have a conversation. I mean, it's just impossible. She doesn't go knock on his door to see if he's there, if he wants to walk to breakfast together. She just goes by herself. And then she finds that her parents are there. And so then the plot thickens because we're all surprised that the parents are there. The parents are like, we are not going to let you be 3 hours away from us at 22 with this old man from the US. We don't know what's going to happen. Ben never shows up to breakfast. The family and her think it's so disrespectful. And I said, why would he show up to breakfast when she didn't answer 10 of his text messages? So to me, it makes sense that he doesn't show up to breakfast. Now, is it petty? Yes. He should have just texted her and said, I'm not coming. So they're waiting for him. And then when she finally texts him and says, Ben, my parents are here, please come. He's like, no, I want to talk to them without you. Now you want to go talk to your peers about their daughter? And so the peers are like, well, no, we don't want to talk to him. And if we do talk to him, we're not going to believe anything that he has to say. And they're like, oh yeah, it's very disrespectful. He's being very immature right now. This is so disrespectful. And I'm just like, get off of that high horse. So then the next scene we have is Ben in this outfit. And I said, who told this man to dress this way? Look at the way Gino is holding this cup. Like, this man has never toasted in his life. He's like, cheers! Like, instead of just being like, cheers, or like, he holds that glass like he's a child who's gonna break it. Like, Gino, calm down. Pinky up, sir. Pinky up. Ben shows up at this place expecting to meet her parents, and Mahogany shows up. And he's surprised, and the conversation goes a little bit something like, I didn't expect you to be here. My parents aren't going to be able to make it. So here's a note that they gave me to give you. Okay, so what's going on? Well, I just think that it was really rude and disrespectful that you didn't come to breakfast. Like, I was expecting you to be there. And he's like, well, you didn't answer any of my texts. So part of me wanted to make you jealous. I wanted you to miss me. And she's like, by standing me up at breakfast? And so in her confessional, she's like, who knew that he would do that? He's not the person that he stated he was in chat. And she's like, now you want to make me jealous? Like, how could I be jealous? I don't know you. And the parts about you that I do know, I'm not super into. And so from that perspective, I can see her But at the other side of it, I'm like, but you led this person on. We want to be mad at Ben and he's wrong, but she led him on. It's just so heartbreaking a little bit to hear her talk about him in such a way that I have to feel for him when I don't want to feel for him because he's wrong for being predatory with a 22-year-old. So I'm like, okay, you see that things are going wrong. And you've stated to her that God has hardened her heart towards you. If God has hardened her heart towards you, Ben, then that means that you need to leave. Is it a different God hardening her heart, but also putting her in your heart? Are these two different gods? Or is it not the same God? It is delusion. So she drops off the letter, hears him for a little bit, and then leaves. And for whatever reason, Ben still thinks that he is gonna have a ride home with her the next day. And like a thief in the night, she leaves. He goes to knock on her door the next day, and it's somebody completely different who, by the way, signed the form so that their face could be shown. And he goes down to the desk and he's like, what happened to the girl? And they were like, oh no, she left last night. And he's like, oh, then how am I supposed to get back to San Bartolo? She does not care about you. She's like, he'll figure it out. The camera crew will take him. And I know a camera crew and a producer left with her, and they didn't even tell him. Production didn't even tell him that she left. That is so messed up. And so he's like flabbergasted. Or he's a really good actor. He has to spend $250 to get himself back to San Bartolo. He's like, what she just did was crazy and it was an overreaction. And I'm like, y'all are both overreacting to different things. He's like, I'm embarrassed. Like my family, my kids, my friends, like they're all gonna see her embarrass me. And I'm like, yeah. And then we see next episode that he's gonna try one last time. I'm like, but where does your relationship go after this? You guys laugh about this in a year? Haha, remember that time you left me by myself at a resort in a country I didn't know? You remember that time that I came to visit you and you didn't show up at the airport? Remember that time I sent you 10 text messages telling you how I felt and you didn't respond? that was such crazy times, but God has brought us together. Too much has happened. Too much damage and mistrust has happened. The fact that she took you to a house that wasn't her own and you've never confronted her on it. And I'm like, the reason why you haven't confronted her is not because you don't want to embarrass her, because you don't give a damn that she's doing these things. You don't see these red flags to show that she's not into you. You want that putang so bad that you are willing to forgive all of the nasty and inconsiderate things that she's done to you. God, the power of P is so strong. All right, you guys, so that's the end of this episode. No, I didn't forget about Hamza and Memphis, or Hamza. No, I didn't forget about Hamza and Memphis, but like, girl, who cares? There was a prenup, there's a postnup, the sister's mad, there's celebration, like, girl, I don't care. But y'all have a fantastic week. Thanks for watching my recap. I want you to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe, like this video, share with your friends, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. But Memphis and Hamza, Girl, she gonna try to get a prenup 2 days before the wedding? What? She thought that... Michigan has whole laws. I'm sure many states have whole laws about prenuptial agreements. And like, how is he supposed to read it? Who's gonna translate it to Arabic? Like, what? This person is a fool, is foolish, and we are being forced to watch. I refuse. Show me more of Tunisia. Show me the food. Sing more songs about the girl getting the fish. Hamza, but I need you to know that you have to sign it for I'm worried about my kids. No more of it. Thank you.